Hello, everyone. So, as many of you are aware of, I am Darth Dawkins' nightmare fuel. The guy is utterly terrified of me. He's actually tired of everybody who knows, like, literally anything at all. The millisecond somebody who knows that what he's talking about isn't the way Darth is portraying it, and the moment they start to explain it, he screams for them to be kicked out. And Darth's been relegated pretty much exclusively only to TikTok now at this point. So yesterday, I opened up the TikTok app. I was actually still in bed, and the first thing I see is Darth on this live stream with, I talked to this guy once before, Genesis Lover, Lore, something, I don't remember. The dude is an absolute clown, and he's really dumb. He doesn't know anything. He will not talk to me unless he has somebody up there for backup. He will not accept my requests ever to discuss why what he's saying is false. But Darth was on the panel, and Darth was, I don't know why Darth has started talking about science more and more recently. It's pretty strange. But every time I hear him talk about it, he's saying something completely stupid. I think the last time I uploaded a video about him, it was he and I having an interaction which lasted for about 1 minute before Darth got pissed off and had me removed for proving him wrong. But anyways, Darth was saying stuff about geology that isn't true. So I don't remember 100%, and I wasn't recording, screen recording at that time yet. But he said something to the effect of, there are no disconformities or unconformities that are ever found, which is just completely untrue. So let's watch and laugh at this together.
Okay, if he becomes obnoxious,
what is
and
that?
if he becomes evasive, then remove him. Okay.
Hey host, can you make my camera bigger, please?
Okay.
Yeah,
So Planet Peterson.
Darth, why did you lie about there being no unconformities?
Okay, I said we don't find disconformities within the flat layers of the sedimentary material on the Grand Canyon.
So, if that's what he said, I don't remember him saying it that way, but that is also completely untrue. Now, little geology lesson. There are three kinds of unconformities. There are disconformities, angular unconformities, and nonconformities. What he's talking about, and I wish I could have stayed longer because I could have talked to him about this. So the pioneer of all this is actually a creationist. His name was Nicholas Steno. And he came up with the idea of original horizontality, which is that when sedimentary layers are deposited, they are deposited one at a time and originally horizontally. You can't deposit wavy heaps of sediment layers through gravity or in water. It just simply is not possible. Now, an unconformity is when you have the layers remain flat, so you have multiple flat layers, and then some erosion takes place, so maybe like the topmost layer disappears, and then some additional horizontal layers get put on top of it. And we absolutely find those. I've seen them before. I've taken pictures of them. I'll put some pictures of those up here from places like, these are mostly going to be in Utah, I believe. But they absolutely do exist. You can just go to Google or Wikipedia and you will see pictures of them, even from places like the Grand Canyon where Darth says they don't exist. And Darth's source for this is Answers in Genesis. I don't remember if he says that later on or if he said that earlier before I was recording, but there you go. So I'm showing him an angular unconformity. What do you call this?
So let me ask you this
what's
question.
With this,
okay?
What's with this faulting here and then a separation? And like I said, I was literally still in bed. I grabbed my laptop because it was next to me and just pulled up the first picture I could find. So I can literally debate Darth almost in my sleep. And then flat layers on top of it.
Yeah, that's not what we. That's not what we would call a disconformity. What we
this
find
is literally what
is
a disconformity. It's an unconformity. Okay. Right. So he, the wording was a little confused here on, I think, both of our parts. But yeah, what I'm showing is an unconformity.
If you interrupt me again,
Oh my God,
if you
cry
interrupt
about
me
it, you
again, I'm
dumb
gonna have to hook
shit.
to kick you. He's doing it
Unconformity
again.
in
He's
situ.
doing it
Hey,
again.
Planet
Listen,
Pearson,
That's the
don't
result.
interrupt. Just wait your turn.
You're
Why
about
are
to
you
be
a liar,
kicked if you
Darth?
continue with your bad behavior. Okay, kick him out. Kick him out. He's done. He's doing it.
So that's the end of me being on here. But he sits here and he cries about me, and he says more things that are false for the next several minutes. So we'll go over that as well. And
Okay.
as we all know, Darth crying about immaturity and interrupting is just the absolute height of hypocrisy.
This is what he does.
Yeah.
Death by mod. Okay. So conformity as opposed to a disconformity, and the distinction between that is this: what we're talking about, disconformities that are the product of erosion. What you just saw there, okay, is that sedimentary material, when it was being laid down, was saturated hydraulically with water.
That's completely irrelevant to the nature of the structure of an angular unconformity, Darth.
So these sedimentary layers still would have remained soft. And when there's still geological upheaval, you're going to see these kind of anomalies in there.
No, Darth, the faulting does not occur. So that's, he's trying to say that the way you get faulting in layers is when they're still wet. When they're still saturated. No, Darth, they absolutely do not do that. You do not find that anywhere in nature. The plasticity of the altering of those layers through the faulting, what you see in angular unconformities, is caused by stress applied over an enormous amount of time. Metamorphic rock tends to kind of do that sort of thing.
What we're talking about are the disconformities from erosion,
which you can also find in nature. I already pulled some up.
Okay. Now, notice again, he did
and the angular unconformity, it's not technically a disconformity. It's one of the types of unconformities. But what I showed him was very clearly a product of erosion, because you had all those faulted layers. How is it that they all get cut off at exactly the same point? How is there a plane that runs through them? Well, that happens through erosion. If you take a look at these mountains here, we can imagine, what if we eroded flat, like planed a section of the top of them off? Then you'd have these areas where all the layers break, and then you could deposit flat layers on top of them.
exactly what I said he has done and that he would do. He would be obnoxious, he would be rude, and then he decides to start cursing me out.
Darth.
Yeah.
So I tried to get back up there to show that what he said about the thing I just showed him doesn't show evidence of erosion is just completely false. So you're going to see me type that several times. It spoiler alert, it doesn't work, but just letting you know.
Planet Pearson requested again. Do we want to give him one more shot or no?
Absolutely not. He knew what the standards were.
He's just so terrified of talking.
He is a person of very low character. He is grossly immature. Every single time I have attempted to converse with him, he's rude, he's obnoxious, he interrupts, and he's also vile and obscene. And he's also somebody who has engaged in slandering and defaming me about my personal life, of which it is absolutely false, nor could he possibly know the veracity of these internet rumors that he was repeating about me.
I mean, there's the thing about, like, supposedly he got a divorce and a few other things. I said it to him once, I think, when he DM'd me on Discord. That was a few years ago, where I made a video where we talked about that. Before I'd ever had a chat through voice with him, he started DMing me about this. Like, go watch that. It's pretty funny. But I did, when he wouldn't leave me alone, I did start berating him with some of that stuff. But I don't say it like on TikTok, really. The only thing I say is sometimes as a joke, I say, I invoke, instead of using Spanky, sometimes I'll use the all-powerful agent being Darth Dawkins' divorce papers. I'll say that's what grounds logic, truth, reason, whatever. Now, the only way Darth would know this is if he's just secretly watching me all the time.
And here, this guy is such a scumbag. He whines and complains about people slandering him about his personal life, and yet he comes on into the text chat, not today, but he's done so previously, repeating internet rumors, accusing me of immoral stuff. Okay?
Maybe a couple times a long time ago, I did go into his live stream and trolled him with some text stuff. So if that's what he means, then I think maybe that has happened before.
This is the kind of low character person we're dealing with.
Yeah, I mean, you saw me type it earlier, but no, you can't do those things to a person of your character, Darth. It doesn't work that way. You reap what you sow, bitch.
You bring him up here again, and he's going to do the same thing. Okay, so that's I think the sixth time I've interacted with him. And every single time I've interacted him, he resorts to being rude, obnoxious, evasive.
No, Darth, it's literally always you. I do start hurling the insults pretty quickly after he derails the conversation by not answering and screaming and muting and all that stuff. But the one and only time that he came up to my live stream and we talked, it actually goes on for quite a while before I have to start muting him because he won't answer this one question. And that actually gets brought up here later.
Because he's scared to have a mature, intelligent dialogue and debate, because he's going to get smoked. The image that he showed is not a disconformity via erosion.
It 100% it was an angular unconformity. So Darth doesn't know the difference between it. Darth thinks that all types of unconformities are called disconformities. He's got the word backwards. But anyways, it 100% was. I don't need to relitigate why. You saw it in the pictures, but...
Okay. Now, did I not make it clear when I talked about disconformities, I'm referring to from erosion?
No, literally never said that.
Remember me saying that?
No, yeah, every time I mean, anybody he interacts with, because I've watched Kent Hovind's, I watched Andrew Wilson, and I've watched yours. He doesn't actually make any points.
The fact that this guy watched me debate Kent Hovind and said that I didn't make any points is just... I don't know what's wrong with this idiot, but like, holy shit.
Just sits there and makes personal attacks.
I didn't do any of that with Kent Hovind or Andrew Wilson. The only time I did it with Kent was for about 5 seconds after Kent had done it to me. And then the rest of the time, it just literally was a straight up conversation debate about the science.
Like a little kid. It's unreal.
Yeah, because he likes to pick on low-hanging fruit. And this is very
Just called himself low-hanging fruit.
of atheists. Right? Yeah. I made it very clear that when I referred to disconformities, I'm referring to ones that are the product of prolonged erosion.
Wow, he literally shifted the goalpost again. Oh, now it's prolonged erosion.
Okay. There are many of what we call...
I didn't say erosion the first time, but that's what I meant. And now what I really super duper meant was prolonged erosion.
Non-erosion disconformities that we see that where the rocks are folded and bent, and that there seem to be an upward bend to these sedimentary layers.
Yeah, that's an angular unconformity, not a disconformity, Darth.
And it from a flood geological perspective, because of the constant moving and the geological upheaval, you're going to find bends in these sedimentary materials because they were still wet and soft.
That's not... That can't be replicated anywhere. It has never been replicated anywhere.
The material had not dried out and solidified into sedimentary rock. Okay?
Yeah.
So he comes in here and he deliberately distorts what I'm referring to.
Yep.
I made it very clear. I made it crystal clear that I was referring to disconformities by erosion. Okay? That does not mean that there aren't disconformities that are the product of geological upheaval. Okay? Now, I was clear about that. But you see, being the...
You can't take layers, upheave them, and then get layers on top of them where it planes them off perfectly without erosion. Okay, are the visuals doing it for you, Darth? Is this good? Oh, he's not going to watch this. Unlearned old-ass dipshit.
lying, low-character person that he is, he misrepresents my position.
And here, I want the audience
by the way, he deliberately decided to go from 0 to 60 to be rude and obnoxious and call me a piece of shit so that he would get kicked. Now, he has had 5 or 6 opportunities.
And I've dunked on you in every single one of them. The one about evolution that lasted about 1 minute, that was absolutely hilarious. He changed the subject 4 or 5 times in less than a minute because he said, well, what, I don't remember specifically what it was. Maybe I'll stitch it here. But he basically said, oh yeah, Peterson, well, what about blank? And then I explain it. Oh yeah, well, that doesn't explain blank. And then I explain that. Oh yeah, well, how many blanks are in a blank? Yeah. And then he does that several times. And then I bring up to him, yeah, Darth, why do you keep changing the subject and moving the goalpost? And then he got pissed and had me removed.
Okay. How do you overcome the combinatorial problem?
The combinatorial problem about the odds of the random mutations. I'm still talking, you fucking dumb shit. The combinatorial problem. The combinatorial problem is that random genetic changes could not accumulate.
Okay, I just muted your microphone. If you're going to continue to be profane and vile with me, you'll be removed. Okay? So,
natural selection is the answer.
Okay.
I just gave you the answer. It's natural selection. You somehow forgot that that's how evolution works.
Okay. Okay. What comes first, random variation or natural selection?
Random variation.
Okay. So what are the odds of an ordinary protein forming by random variation?
That's not how evolution works, and you know
That's
it.
not an answer to my question.
Your question is invalid because you're stupid.
What are the building blocks of the coding sequences for a protein? So he's just doing shtick here. Now I'm going to keep on muting you unless you act.
The answer is
like
amino acids.
Okay. Now, how many amino acids does it take in a polymer to form an average protein?
Today, I don't know the number. It's probably big, but if life evolves, then that means that the proteins in the past were shorter than the proteins of today.
Can you give me a ballpark figure? A ballpark figure of what a basic how many amino acids does it take to form a protein? Just a ballpark figure.
I'll give you an answer in just a moment here.
No, I didn't ask you to look it up. You claim you know this stuff, so you're looking it up. So you just embarrass yourself.
A couple hundred. Yeah, because so rote memorization is the same thing as intelligence. You are so fucking dumb. It's so embarrassing.
All right, don't listen to me. I'm gonna give you one final warning. If you persist in being vile, profane,
if you persist in being scientifically illiterate, I'm going to.
Okay, you can do your shtick all you want. Now I'm going to say this for your benefit and the audience. Okay, I would rather not mute you and kick you, but if you're going to continue to be abusive and vile, I will. Now, what are the odds? Do you have any idea what the statistical odds in random variation? Okay. Do you know in the DNA code, what are the units that code for amino acids?
So to be clear, do you know the combinatorial problem? I start answering it. What about how many amino acids does it take to build a...
Okay, all right. You are grossly embarrassing yourself to the audience. Now,
you have switched the topic 3 times. 3 times.
Okay. Now, I'm warning you. I don't want to have to kick
You have switched the topic 3 times.
Okay, no. I'm telling you, if you don't
scientifically illiterate, grumpy old.
Okay, here we go. If I'm telling you, final warning: if you don't become more
old, dumbass,
here we go.
old, scientifically illiterate.
Where we've been on the same stage together a couple of times on his stream.
No, once on my stream.
And on my stream and others, where every single time he behaves like a rude, obnoxious, low character, vile teenager.
I've never seen Darth not scream at somebody. Not once. Not once has he ever not screamed so loud that his microphone clips at a guest. It's never, ever, ever happened. Never, ever not happened.
And if you look at his videos, when he does videos of some people, when you look at the titles, some of the titles are almost pornographic that when he refers to people. Like, for example, he did one on Jim Bob.
That's me laughing and the microphone's picking it up.
Okay. And he changed Jim Bob's name into what was a reference to a pornographic act. Okay. And that's what he put in the clickbait title. This is the kind, man. I mean, this is a 30-year-old man who's the science guy, and he's putting clickbait titles like that.
And I want everyone to hear this too, because this is...
Like, unironically, the fact that Darth can't handle a joke means that Darth is the one that needs to grow up.
The way Planet Peterson acts, I'm about to play a quick, it's about a 30-second clip of this
part's
individual
great too.
saying one of the dumbest things of all time. Let me just put it like that.
Instead of just shooting your mouth off, you like to present yourself as a competent defender of your unbelief. So come on up. Okay, so can you tell me...
Now, answer the question, do zygotes know that God exists?
No.
So this is... This is kind of the one time I debated Darth where he came up to my stream. This is where it all fell apart because the presuppositionalist view is that all humans know that God exists. So I was trying to ask him, is a zygote a human being? Now I know that he thinks yes, which means his worldview is false, and he knew that's where it was going, so he wouldn't answer the question. And then for about 5 minutes, he sits there not answering the question. And then I tell him, "You don't have any friends, Gary. Shut the fuck up." And then he leaves. And so what's happening here is, I don't know when this was, but sometime later on, I joined a stream because he was talking about this, and I demanded that he answer this question.
No, they don't have their cognitive apparatus fully developed.
Are zygotes humans?
Okay, yes. Now,
so therefore, all humans do not know that God exists.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah, so somebody clipped that and then stitched it with the Russell Westbrook "what" meme, and I'm about to type it, but it's literally valid. Like, it literally follows.
Yeah, so that was an example of him being extremely deceitful and
it's not deceitful.
Erecting a straw man. When I'm referring to all humans, he knows damn well that I'm referring to human beings that have reached a point of sufficient...
He just gets to infinitely redefine his own argument because he's such an unlearned dipshit that he doesn't care if what he's saying is true because he's convinced he can't ever be false about anything. So it doesn't matter what he says. It'll always be true. And if it's wrong, then he'll say, well, what I meant when I said it is true.
Cognitive development that they know that God exists. Okay? So when he brought up
Darth, God reveals himself to humans. Humans don't use their cognition to look at God and know that God exists, right? So how come God doesn't just magically make himself known to them? He literally doesn't believe in an all-powerful God. And I guess that is the that is the end of that. So it's always fun, Gary. We should do it again sometime. Thanks for watching, and you'll see me tomorrow.